welcome to episode number 4 of Wordology. Today I am doing a second lesson on code switching because I know it seems like we know how to do it, but it actually is really important. This idea of using caps and end marks when you write sentences seems something like you've been doing it forever, and yet people aren't doing it. So here is a second lesson on that. Enjoy! Hi there, Wordologists. All right, remember wordologist means person who, that's ist, studies words. And you're like, why, oh why, Mrs. Meyer, do you say that over and over again? Because wordologist just unlocks a lot about words. Here I have my suffix ist, which means person who. Ology words always mean study of. And word is my base word. Look at it, teaches us 3 things right in one word. Plus, it's a made-up Riverside word, so we love it. All right, we love words, and I told you that I came across some oxymorons, which are contradictory terms. Contradictory means they're like opposite terms. So here's my new ones that I have. An original copy. So an original copy of something is like, like if you write a story and you hand it in and you're like, this is my original, it's my first copy. But do you see why it's an oxymoron? Because original means first and copy means that you copy something. Get it? Yeah, original copy. Here's another one. Liquid gas. So when we go to the gas station, we pump liquid gas. It's in the form of a liquid, but it's called gas. And gas is like vapor. Liquid gas. Weird, because they're opposites. One more. Seriously funny. Do you get it? If something's funny, it's ha ha ha, and if something's serious, it's not funny at all. So if something is seriously funny, it means it's very, very funny, but it's an oxymoron because those 2 words are opposites. So those are my oxymorons. All right, we are becoming vocabulary strong. We constantly pay attention to words, and that's not just individual words, but how words are put together or phrases. Or when we hear something said in a certain way, we write it down and we think, oh, I'm going to use that someday. That's becoming wordology strong. All right, yesterday I did a lesson on code switching and I'm coming back to it. Code switching means you communicate one way with one group of people and another way with another group of people. And in particular, this one came from your teachers. And I even saw that Mrs. Lindeen sent out an email this morning that said, hey, when you're writing, you need to write with capital letters and periods and put punctuation. In fact, she even told the kids, don't even write anything new. Just copy what you wrote yesterday and go back and edit it. So code switching says my teachers expect me to write in a certain way and not text or message them or write to them like I would a friend, where maybe I don't pay as much attention to punctuation. So here's our mantra. I use caps and end marks when I write sentences. Think like a zombie, like you say it over and over, a robot. I use caps and end marks when I write sentences. When you write things down, you continue to think to yourself, I use caps and end marks when I write sentences because I'm code switching for my teacher. I use caps and end marks when I write sentences. It's the gift you're going to give to your reader. When your reader reads it, it's a way that it measures your intelligence because your reader looks at it, and if it doesn't have the punctuation in it, it's like your reader can't even see through to your ideas because their head space is so taken up with noticing that it doesn't have the correct punctuation. So we're in particular focusing on capital letters and periods. Caps for capital letters, uppercase is another way to say that. End marks means a period, a question mark, or an exclamation point. All right, so let's look at this one. I'm just going to pop out for a second so I can manipulate this. All right, Tom could just imagine a lobster and a crab bumping into each other. What if they had a fight? Who do you think would win? Soon he was going to Maine and could find out. All right, so do you see what I'm saying? I can't quite figure out the meaning of it. Now when I do it again, I'm like, oh, Tom could just imagine a lobster and a crab bumping into each other. What if they had a fight? Who do you think would win? Soon he was going to Maine and could find out. When I read it through a second time, I know where to put it. All right, here we go. Tom is a proper noun. It's also the beginning of a sentence. Could just imagine a lobster and a crab bumping into each other. I feel a pause there, I put in a period. After a period, I always put a capital letter for my next sentence. What if they had a fight? Question mark. If I start with what, that means I end in a question mark. Who is another of those, is it 4 W's, 5 W's, and how? So that starts with an uppercase. Who do you think would win? Another question. Soon, as soon as I have my end mark here, in this case it's a question mark, as soon as I have my end mark, I put an uppercase. Soon he was going to, this is the name of the state. I uppercase proper nouns, the names of people, places, and things, and could find out, period. Now, once you practice this, it doesn't get too hard to do. You just keep practicing it. Here's some other ones. Look at this one. Yesterday, the teachers went on a car parade. True story. We had so much fun. We probably had equally as much fun as the people that we saw. When I go to look at this, I notice, I gotta pop out again, uppercase on yesterday. It's the beginning of a sentence. I uppercase the beginning of the sentence. Yesterday, the teachers went on a car parade. I could have put a period there, or I could put an exclamation point, either one. We missed the kids of Riverside School. Now this one looks like it's correct. We, uppercase. Exclamation point at the end. I tend to use too many exclamation points. Just ask Mr. Meyer. He's like, what's up with all the exclamation points? All right, but Riverside School is a proper noun. So Riverside is uppercase, and in this case, school is uppercase because it is part of the school. If it was just school on its own, it would not be uppercase. The teachers have their meetings on computers. True story, in 15 minutes, we are going to have a meeting on the computers. All right, I have my uppercase here, so I'm good. I just don't have my end mark right there. Okay. I uppercase, use caps and end marks when I write sentences. I just check it all. When I'm done, I go back and check myself. Remember, people, it's a measure of your intelligence. They're wondering if you are able to punctuate correctly. Code switching. Remember that you are going to write differently for your teachers, for your parents. Good grief, your grandparents really love this kind of stuff. And you switch. That is today's lesson. I use caps and end marks when I write sentences. All right, I get it. It is something that seems like teachers are just pounding that all the time. I use caps and end marks when I write sentences. You know why it's hard for you to do? It's because you are getting better and better at your writing, and so you're concentrating more and more on what you're writing. And sometimes those things that we learned when we were young, they go by the wayside. We forget to use them. So this is just a reminder to do that, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.